back to the channel and welcome to today's video. I hope you're all doing really well. Today we're going to be doing my Christmas budget video. So this is going to be every single penny I'm going to spend on Christmas. Not just the presents, which obviously cost a lot and they are a big part of it, but also food and drink and cheese and all of that kind of stuff, activities and events and decorations, like everything to do with Christmas. Anything that is Christmas related is going in this budget. I have actually made a spreadsheet and I'm going to sell it over on Etsy, so if you want to do the same as me, follow along in this video maybe, then feel free to download it. I'll pop it down in the description box for you. I've used this Christmas budget spreadsheet for the last 3 years, I think since 2021, and it's really helped me just keep on track with everything, because when you have kids especially, you want to do like festive activities, but then you realise how expensive things are and it's very easy to go overboard, and when they're that young, you don't necessarily have to do that. And I think it's just about like maintaining like a realistic expectation of what your Christmas is going to be like, and then realising that maybe if 1 year you haven't been able to do as much as you want to do, maybe you can then in the January after Christmas go, right, I want to make sure that I've got £800 towards Christmas for all of the activities and everything that I want to do and all the presents I want to buy. So start saving in the January, and then you can actually like make that a reality for yourself. This year my budget is £1,000 for Christmas, which sounds insane frankly, but you'll soon see how quickly that dwindles away. And honestly, I don't even think I'm going that overboard, especially not with presents. But even £1,000, like it seems insane to say that amount of money, but it goes so quickly because everything really is so expensive. So I find that actually allocating things in a budget is essential. Right, I'm gonna go through my budget spreadsheet that I've got right here, and we're gonna pop it up on the screen and just go through it together and fill it all out. Okay, so as you can see, this is my budget spreadsheet, and this is what I'm gonna be selling over on Etsy. So if you wanted to download this exact thing, then it will be on there ready for you. It won't have any of these exact things in the sideline here, like I've got specific things that I'm doing with the kids, for example, but you can input those things yourself and then everything will just add up and all the formulas will work for you. For me, you can see that I've popped in here, my budget for Christmas is £1,000, and like I said, that includes like everything that I'm spending at Christmas. I've popped in £1,000, but if I were to, for example, change that to £500, the remaining would also change. So you can put whatever your budget is in there and it will change and adapt based on that. I've put forecast as £1,000 because this is what I'm planning to spend, because obviously come the month of December, things might change. I might change my mind about doing something, I might do something different. So this is what I'm forecasting, like I'm planning on doing, and then this is the actual spend. So obviously at the moment I haven't put anything in, so it says I've spent £0 and I've still got £1,000 left. But what I'm going to do is with you is go through all of my things on the side, like Christmas decorations, food and drink, events and activities, presents for all of the individual people that I'm buying for, and then it's going to add everything up for me at the end, how much I've budgeted for gifts, how much I've actually spent on gifts, for example. And then my spreadsheet's just going to tell me how much I've actually got left over after that if I do everything that I want to do. If I go over, for example, I'm going to have to look and see what I do and don't do, whether that's like one activity I don't do, whether it's a present that I don't buy, and then I come the month of December, I know exactly what I'm going to do and I'm not going to over purchase anything. I've already started buying things as well, so I definitely need to like rein it in a little bit and make sure that I stay on track with the budget. So starting off with Christmas decorations, I did actually want to get a little Christmas decoration for the tree. I have loads of Christmas decorations and don't need anything else for the house, because when I didn't have kids, that was what I spent money on at Christmas. I'd buy loads of decorations, I'd deck the whole house out, and that would be like my thing. Obviously when you have kids you have other priorities and stuff, but I would love to get like a little tree decoration that's like personalised for me and the family. So like for me, George, Hallie and Ash, maybe even Molly in there, maybe like a little personalised one. I'll set a budget of like £20 for that. Obviously, if you have any other like Christmas decorations you wanted to buy and you downloaded this spreadsheet and nothing's in there, for example, where you add a little column on here is, say for example, you just wanted to put one under tree decorations, you double click or you right click depending on what I've got a Mac, so I double click, but if you have a PC or a Windows laptop, then you just right click and then you put insert row below, and then you can insert something and then the formula will automatically update as long as you're doing it in the middle. The formula will automatically update and it will still add everything together for you. So for example, if I wanted to buy some lights, I'd put maybe £10 for lights and it would add that up to £30, and that would come off of my forecasted budget and see how much I've actually got remaining, if that makes sense. However, I don't need lights. I do want to set the limit at £20, but that might be something that I really evaluate because there are probably other priorities for Christmas. Then moving on to food and drink. For the Christmas food shops, so like the big food shop for all of the things around Christmas, including all of the food and everything, I'm going to set a limit of £150 for that. That doesn't, however, include things like the meat and the wine and the beer. That kind of thing will be separate, which we'll go on to in a second. The extra food shop for after Christmas, you know, there's a couple of days, like after Christmas, after the leftovers are gone, but you still need a couple of things, maybe you even want a healthy meal stuck in there just between Christmas and New Year. I'm going to stick an extra £50 in there to be able to like top up when the shops are back open on like the 27th or whatever. That's like a £50 food shop that I'm going to pop in there. For the butchers, so for the meat that we get for Christmas Day and whatever, maybe pigs in blankets, things like that, I'm going to pop £50 in there. Because of the amount that we're getting, I think it probably will be more, but this is how much I'm allocating towards it from the joint account. But if my husband wants to buy a little bit more, or he wants to get like a better bit of beef or a better bit of turkey, then he can decide to do that with his own cash. But like this for me is how much I'm comfortable spending from my money and the joint account together. So wine and beer, I'm also going to contribute £50 towards. That again, a couple of nice bottles of wine, like a £20 bottle of wine. 2 of those would be 40 quid already, and that leaves only 10 quid for beer. And honestly, like, yeah, get my husband and my dad in the same room, they can probably smash through that just themselves. So to be honest, again, this will probably be a little bit higher, but this is how much, like I said, I'm putting away for the food and drink. So I've popped all of that in there, and that equals £300. So already you can see that on the forecast, the remaining budget is only £680. So this dwindles so quickly. Moving down to events and activities, I've got things planned like in the diary already. Some things are booked, some things aren't. So there might be some things that like I can get out of or I can change and things that I can't, but let's just go in and figure out how much things are going to cost at this moment in time. I have already booked Audley End Miniature Railway. If anyone is local to like Saffron Walden Way in Essex, it's such a great little day out. It is insanely expensive. It is really expensive for what it is. However, it is magical. They go all out. It is a really great day. And now that both the kids are a little bit older, like Hallie's a lot easier to take out on a day out now. I have decided to go with both of them. I'm going to go with my mum. So I'm paying for me and the kids. So that's £73. And then my mum's going to pay for her ticket. It's something insane for adults. Like adults, it's like 25 quid or something. They sold out really quickly this year. So I booked that quite far in advance. £73 for me and 2 kids, just to do that day out. But it's like this miniature railway that you go on, and then they've got this massive adventure playground. They've got Mrs. Claus. You can write a letter to Santa. There's loads of different little activities that you can go and make your own reindeer food, all of that kind of stuff. Like, there are some really cool activities, and to be honest, it just seems like this really nice little magical thing that we could do for the kids. At some point, I would actually like to take the kids to Lapland, UK, but that's going to be a one-time thing, I think, because it is very expensive, and I want to make sure that it's a time where Hallie can remember it as well. My youngest is only 1, she'll be like 1.5 in December, so I don't want to do it too soon and then her not remember it. I'd rather her be like 3 or 4 and then actually remember it when she grows up. And then George is also going to be at an age where he will remember it and still like be in the little magical moment of Christmas being, you know, as magical as it actually is when they're that young. Because I've actually already spent that, I'm going to put £73 in the actual spent column. You can see here, this is what I'm budgeting, and then this is what I've actually spent so far. That has come out of my account already, so I'm popping £73 in the spent column. For ice skating and Santa, there's an ice skating like pop-up rink in a town like a few miles from us, so we're going to pop that in. It's £25 to go ice skating and to see Santa, because they do like a toddler morning, it's like under 5s like morning during the week. So I'm going to take George to that, so it won't be as busy and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to definitely do that. That's a local one that we can definitely do, and we're saving the money by doing it on an off-peak day, basically. The thing is, with ice skating, obviously my little one can't do that, only George can do that, so that will be on a day where like Ash will stay with Hallie and I will take George and do that. Unfortunately, it's not something we could all do as a family just yet, but he really loved it when we went ice skating last year, and this is a much more affordable way of doing it, so we're going to do that. There's also Santa there, which kills two birds with one stone, I think. Then we've got library Christmas crafts, which they do at our local library. It's literally like £1. I know it's silly to like put that into the budget, but it's an activity that we're going to do, and that's like the Christmas activity for the day. And I would like to be able to do something Christmassy every Saturday and Sunday in December, like in my ideal world. And they don't have to be massive things every time, because obviously, like I say, we're doing Audley End Miniature Railway. That's a big thing. It's very magical. It's very Christmas heavy. And then another day we could just be going to the library to do the Christmas crafts, which is £1. Like, it doesn't have to be all extravagant all the time, but I just would like to do the Christmassy things on the weekends, like when we can, and whatever that might be. So yeah, library Christmas crafts it is. I haven't like booked that or anything. You just turn up whenever you want. So they do that on Sundays in December. Christmas markets, there's a really nice town like a few miles from us that does really great Christmas markets, really great food. They have like music on, and obviously they do like the Christmas lights and stuff. It's a really nice little town, so we're definitely going to do that. I'm just going to budget like £25 for that. I think that's just for food and things at the markets. Like, it's not, you don't have to pay to go, but obviously when you're there you're going to want to buy some stuff like food and that. So I've got £25 budget in there for that, which will be good. Panto, I would really like to do with George this year. He's never been before, and I have always like ummed and ahed as to whether he would actually sit through it. But this year they're doing Jack and the Beanstalk, and I think he would love it because he loves the Jack and the Beanstalk story. I think he could possibly sit through it. Again, it would be something that I just do with George, or even Ash just does with George, rather than Hallie, because she won't be able to sit through it because she's obviously too little. But yeah, we're definitely going to do that. So a adult ticket and a child's ticket is £35, which kind of seems expensive, but at the same time, like, they go all out with Panto, don't they? And the amount of time and effort that goes into it, I feel like realistically it's not. So yeah, that's definitely something that's on the cards to do. Christmas Wonderland, which is at Lakeside shopping centre down in Essex. It's actually really good. We went there last year. It was like a very last minute thing. We wanted to go and do ice skating like on the lead up to Christmas, and then the one that is usually near us, they weren't doing it that year, but they're definitely doing it this year. So I popped it in there because it might be something we go and do with all the family, like all the cousins and everything. We might go down and do it again because we did it last year and it was really good. It had like a massive Ferris wheel, all the markets, some fairground rides like the waltzer and like all the little kiddie ones as well, little roller coaster and stuff. And yeah, like the ice skating rink as well, and then yeah, all the foodie markets and all that stuff. It was really Christmassy, it was really lovely, and we had a really great time. So I popped it in there. In terms of a budget for that, I'm going to pop £50 for that because I think that's roughly what we spent last year when we went. We don't necessarily have to do both this Christmas Wonderland one and the ice skating and Santa one because they're fairly similar kind of activities, and this ice skating one is actually closer, but like I said, we did it last year and it might be something that we do with all the family, so I want to have the budget there just in case everyone decides to do it, and I've already done something, like I'd rather do something with all the family again. I've got the nursery nativity here. They aren't, I don't think, doing that this year, so I'm going to change that to nursery presents because I would like to get George's teachers something. He has a really great set of teachers at preschool, and he also obviously does forest school as well, and last year I think I just got them some cookies, which obviously doesn't break the bank, but it's a really nice gesture and, you know, yummy. So I'm going to pop that in there. I think I'm just going to budget like £15 for that. And then for Christmas Eve boxes for the kids, I don't tend to buy lots of new things for Christmas Eve boxes. Christmas Eve boxes wasn't really a thing when I was young, but then everyone kind of seems to do it now and it is really sweet. So what I tend to do is just pop in Christmas pyjamas that we've already got, by the way, so I won't have to spend money on them. Christmas pyjamas, probably like some hot chocolate, a mug, or even a mug that George has already got, and a cup maybe for Hallie that she's already got. Like, put things in there that we're going to do on Christmas Eve. It doesn't have to necessarily be new things. So I think last year I did things like that. We did a Christmas craft thing from like Home Bargains, like a little paint your bauble thing. Yeah, there was only a few little bits in there, to be honest. So I'm going to set a budget of like maybe £10 because mostly all of it's going to probably come from Home Bargains and things are quite affordable in there. And it will mainly be little bits of crafts, maybe a couple of chocolate coins, that kind of thing. So yeah, we'll pop that in there, but yeah, that doesn't have, we don't have to go overboard with that at all. So for all Christmas events and activities, it comes to £234, which is a lot, but at the same time, you know, this is a really, really jam-packed agenda. We don't have to necessarily do all of these things, but they're all the options, all the things that we've got the options to do at least over the course of December. So scrolling up, you can see here the budget's gone down to £446. And so far, actually, of those things, I've only actually bought the tickets for Audley End, so I've only actually spent £73 of that budget. Then scrolling down to presents, this is where it gets interesting. So for everyone that I've bought that I would like to buy presents for, I've already put in what I think I would like to get them, or ideas for what to get them. Not necessarily things I'm not going to be able to get all of these things, but ideas that I'd like to get them. And I'm then going to go and fill this out and say what the budget for each person is. So for example, George, I'm going to set a budget for him for £100, which doesn't go very far for when, especially with boys' toys, I find like they're just quite expensive because they're quite like, I don't know why, they just seem to be more expensive than girls' presents. What I'm budgeting, because that's what this column is, what I'm actually budgeting to spend versus what I've actually spent so far. So far I have budgeted £3 for this Donutters game because I have spent £3 on that game. It's literally just, I saw it in a charity shop, which is why it was so affordable. But it's literally just this game where you put like an elephant mask on, it's got like a little elephant trunk, and you hook up these little hoops. So I thought it would be a really fun little Christmas Day game, but also just like a nice board game for a rainy day, like just perfect. So I grabbed that. I also would really like to get George either a Scalextric set or a Carrera set. Carrera is like the American version of Scalextrics. It's a bit better and a bit bigger and a bit more sturdy. So I was leaning more towards Carrera, and they sell it in Smith's toy store as well. If you don't know what it is, it's basically an electric racing car track thing. And you put the cars on and you've got these controllers that like race around the track, and two of you can like compete and race around it and all of that kind of stuff. So it is, honestly, he's gonna love it. What 4-year-old boy would not love that? They do little sets, they do bigger sets, but the kind of medium-sized sets are about £60. So that's how much I budgeted for it. However, I did actually see it on Vinted, and it was like in mint condition, the box was great, and it only been used like once, and I only paid £35. So I actually managed to save a lot of money doing that, which is obviously great because it means that I haven't actually spent as much money as I thought I was going to spend at this point in time. So I have more money to spend on other things if I wanted to. Moving down, he wants lots of Hot Wheels stuff, as you can probably tell. Hot Wheels Shark or Dragon, I'm gonna budget like £10 for that because I have seen them again on Vinted and things like that. They actually retail for a lot more than that, but £10 I'm gonna set as my budget for that. If I find one for under that amount of money secondhand, then I'll get it. If I don't, then I'll reallocate the funds somewhere else. The Hot Wheels garage, again, this retails at like £50, and I don't want to just spend £50 on it if I'm totally honest. Again, I want to try and find it secondhand. I'm going to pop £20 for it. It might be more like 25, but we'll see. Where I've made a lot more money back on the Carrera set, hopefully I can find something like that. But for now, I'll put £20. You can see here that so far, if I were to have spent that, I would have actually got to £93 already. However, at the moment, because I haven't bought these things, it's at £38. I'd like to get him some more drawing paper for his little like easel thing. He's got really into drawing recently. I want to get him some paint and stuff for his stocking, which we'll see in a minute. So I'm going to get him like one of those rolls of paper that you pull down on your easel, and he can like really, we can get that out, and that could be a fun activity for him as well, to do some really fun drawings. So I'm going to get that as well for him. They do that in like the works and things like that. I have got some other ideas for things to get him, like magnetic tiles, road toppers. He has a massive set of tiles, like magnetic tiles that he builds with, and you can get these road toppers that go on top of them and to like make them like little car track thing, which he would absolutely love. But they're about £30, and obviously if I put £30 in there, then that takes us over the £100 budget. So obviously where I haven't actually spent the £60, I can lower that now to 35 because I know that's how much it cost. I could then look at maybe trying to find something similar to this for like £25, for example, and that would still be within budget. And then also of all of these other things that he's asked for on his list, I could afford like a £4 Mr. Man book. He's really into those at the moment. So that's the sort of thing that I've been doing, because obviously, yeah, it'd be lovely to get him all of these things, but I don't want to just go over the budget just because. And frankly, I don't want him to have like 50 odd gifts to open, because I think it just doesn't sit right with me. Like, people not even getting one present and he's like sitting there with 50. Like, I just think we get him a certain amount of toys that hopefully are going to last him a long time, he's going to play with a long time, and aren't just going to be chucked out and that kind of thing. Anything else on his list that he doesn't get or we don't end up buying for him, I can ask like family and friends to if they ask us what he'd want for Christmas, I can say these things. There's a couple of other things on there, like Coding Critters, which is this coding game thing for 4-year-olds and above, and it does look really good, but it's like £40-50 brand new, and because it's a fairly new game, it's like a learning resource game, because it's a new one, it's hard to get secondhand. So I'm just going to leave those blank at the moment, but like I said, if friends and family wanted to buy him something, then that's like, the list is there and the ideas are there just in case. Scrolling down to Hallie, so I'm going to put a budget of £50 for Hallie because she's obviously a lot younger. She has also got a lot of secondhand things to be handed down to her, like you'll see in a second. But I have already bought quite a lot of stuff for Hallie because the wooden Aldi toy sale thing was at the beginning of October, and I bought basically all of her stuff there. And I also have kind of split these into joint presents with the kids, Hallie and joint. Basically all for Hallie, but I know that George would like playing with them as well. So I'm going to call them joint presents, and then we're going to kind of get into the whole discussion of like sharing and all that kind of stuff, because George at the moment is very, very strict with what Hallie's not allowed to touch, and it's just getting to the point where I'm like, maybe we should evaluate this. You can see here, by the way, on George's one, where I haven't actually bought everything, it still says that I've only spent £38, which is what I have, and I've still got £62 remaining. But obviously, as I buy things, that will dwindle down. Yeah, obviously this is what I'm budgeting for things. Whether I spend more or less, it will all kind of add it up for me, which is really helpful as you'll go in. I have this spreadsheet also on my phone, which I find really helpful because I go between the two. So I have this on the Google Sheets app on my phone, and then I also have it on my laptop, and it just updates on both at the same time, which I find really, really good. Going down to Hallie, like I said, I've already bought her a doll, for example, like a little baby doll. She just loves it so much. A princess castle I got her, which was £25. I am kind of thinking, should I wait to give her the princess castle thing until she's 2, until her second birthday, because I just do think 18 months, or she'll be 17 months turning 18 months at Christmas, is a little bit young to play like with a doll's house and stuff. We'll see, but it's upstairs waiting for her, so I'm not sure whether I'll definitely give it to her or give it to her at a later date. We'll see. Mega Blocks, which is a hand-me-down from George. It's like big mega blocks that you build towers with and stuff. I think she'll really like it, but that'll obviously be free, so I'll put 0 in. Wooden sensory toy is also free because that's a hand-me-down from George. She'll absolutely love that. The Noah's Ark toy was like £3. I got that on Vinted. And then the lock and latch board from Melissa and Doug was also from Vinted, and that was £5. So I've popped that in there as well. So a grand total of £40. I've budgeted that and I've spent that. It still means I've got £10 remaining for Hallie. However, I don't think I'm going to buy her anything else unless there's something that I see that I think, oh my gosh, she can't live without that, like whatever. At the moment, where she's not walking, I feel like it's hard to buy things. She's still in the baby stages, but at the same time, she wants to do more. So I am trying to buy her some of the joint stuff, which is more for like playing in the kitchen and that kind of thing, because she's standing up when she's playing with that, which she really enjoys doing. So I've got her some more bits for that. So anyway, we'll go down to the kids joint stuff here. Again, most of this is from the Aldi toy sale. The takeaway pizza role play kit was £10, which will pop there. Oh yeah, I should put in here the budget. The budget for the joint kids is £50 also. The kettle set was also £10. Both the kids are gonna love playing with that because George loves pretending that he's drinking cups of tea. He absolutely loves it. He just has warm milk in a mug and he's like, this is my cup of tea. Especially when my mum comes around, she is like a tea fiend. The birthday cake set was £10 as well. Coffee machine set was also £10. Again, he'll absolutely love that, like pretending to like make us coffee and like having us all set up and doing a tea party, that kind of thing. I can imagine as Hallie gets older, she will like that as well. So yeah, it's nice to have these like kind of joint presents that they're both going to play with. Like the toy kitchen and anything that goes in there will basically be like a joint present. The slow cooker is also £10. I use the slow cooker literally every single day, pretty much. Something's in the slow cooker as we speak. So I know the kids will be able to see the connection there, which is why I really wanted that. So yeah, £50 for the joint kids is absolutely gone because of all the Aldi toy sale stuff. I would really like a annual family pass, like either a Merlin one or Colchester Zoo for basically days out, but they are quite expensive. So I'm not going to buy it, but it is something that if family members are like stuck for an idea or whatever, then I will say, oh, a little bit of money towards this, and then I can maybe purchase that, and then we've always got something to do. It's basically a free day out for the whole year. But the annual family pass that Merlin do, for example, is like Legoland and anything that comes under that Merlin umbrella. I think Madame Two Swords and the London Eye and all of that kind of stuff you can go do. So yeah, maybe one of those kind of passes would be a really good one. I personally would love to receive that as a family. And days out when you've got young kids is an absolute essential. It's going to save a lot of money for people throughout the year. Going down to stockings, we've got £50 budget there as well. Then I've separated everything into like who's getting what, basically. So if it's a G, it's for George, and if it's a H, it's for Hallie. Again, so far I haven't necessarily got all of these things. I have got some things, and I'm a bit stuck for things to get for Hallie, if I'm honest, but I've set the limit at £50, and the wooden figures that I've popped here, because they're little and they can go in the stocking, I've popped those in. They're £8. They were from the Aldi toy store, and they're actually little figures that are going to go with her Princess Fairy Castle thing that I got her in her main presents. So I'm doing that a little bit. If it's little and it can fit in a stocking, I'm just going to shove it in there as a stocking filler. Books for Hallie, it sounds really bad, have barely ever read a book to Hallie at this age, but I have a lot of books from when George was little that I really want to get into actually reading with her now. You know, like the hardback books, the That's Not My Books, or the Peekaboo books, or all of that kind of stuff. I've got loads of those that I'm going to pop a couple in her stocking, and then also just get the rest out as well. My First crayons, I'm going to pop in there. They're only a couple quid from Home Bargains, and they're like big ones from Crayola that are really good, easy grip ones for younger babies. She's getting into drawing everywhere at the moment, so some crayons would be a really good one. Aldi Wooden toy groceries. I did have those on George's, but I think I'm going to put them in Hallie's instead, because like I said, I'm struggling for those. That was going to be like part of the joint present, and that was, I believe, £9 for the groceries, I want to say. Again, they're already purchased and they're just going to go in there. They're little, literally wooden little groceries from Aldi, and they're going to go in the toy kitchen. Then moving down to George's stuff, watercolour paints and paint brushes. He's always honoured me that he wants to do painting at home because he gets to do it at nursery all the time, and I thought watercolour paints would be a really great way of doing that, because it's not as messy, is it? So I'm going to do that, get him £10 worth of that, again, probably just from the works. Haven't done that yet, so I won't put that in the spent column. Chocolate coins, couple quid, won't they be? Something like that, either chocolate coins or chocolate orange or whatever, something like that in his stocking. Lightning McQueen, Tony. George's got a Tony box. He got that last year for Christmas and he loves it, but he's so obsessed recently with the Lightning McQueen little car, like from the Cars film. So I wanted to get my Lightning McQueen Tony. He actually also cut that out of the Smith's Toy Store like catalogue things, and he put that onto his list, so I thought I would get that for him, because obviously he'll think that Santa brought his stocking, and he'll think that like Santa listened to what was on his list and stuff, so I'll get that for him. I've popped £10, they're actually £15 noob. Again, Vinted will come to the rescue with that, no doubt. And then Hot Wheels for George, I've got left over, I've only got £9 left, so I'm going to put £9 worth of Hot Wheels in there for George's stocking. Just loads of little stocking stuffers. Obviously the Hot Wheels will go with the stuff that I'm getting him in his actual present, so they'll go together, sort of thing. So within budget with that. Obviously, like you see, I've only spent £17 from the stockings, but we've got £33 remaining, and if I buy everything and nothing goes over budget, then that will still be within budget for the stockings, which is good. Then scrolling down, I've got more people to buy for. I'm not going to go through everything, obviously, with these people, but I'm just going to keep these categories in. These are the people that I buy for. Ash, my husband, my mum, my dad, and my granddad. I don't buy anything for anyone else because, blimey, Christmas is expensive as it is. I'm going to set my limits here for people, but I won't go through what I'm buying them, because just in case they watch this video. For Ash, I'll put £100. For my mum, I'll put £50. My dad, I'll put £50, and then my granddad, I'll also pop, how much money have I got left? I'm in the minus, so that's not great. So maybe for my granddad, I'm going to put £30, and then I'll change Ash's budget, because unfortunately, if we're going on budget, that's where I'm going down on. So it looks like I'm minus £34, so I need to take £34 off of Ash's budget, I think, unfortunately. To be honest, we did actually say that we're not going to do presents this year, but we say that quite a lot, don't we? So you know what, I'm going to put his budget at £50, and maybe I'll get him something nice, like from the kids or something, like rather than a big thing from me. To be honest, like I just think as parents, I just don't care about gifts for myself anymore. Like, Christmas is just all about the kids, and I want it to be that, and it's like so insanely magical, and like it hits so different when you've got kids that I just don't care anymore. If I wanted something, I'll buy it for myself, and like I would much rather spend time and have date nights and like go out and actually talk, and that's a way better present than a thing. Obviously there are things I would love, but definitely other things that I would choose before that. You'll see here that your forecast, so what you are budgeting for each individual thing, comes here, and it tells you how much money you've got remaining. Obviously before it said that I was in the minuses, so I've just adapted it to obviously make sure that I'm not in the minus. So it says I've got £16 left at the moment. Obviously that's if I stay to budget on everything. And then the actual spend is showing like exactly how much you spent so far. It's saying that I spent £218, and that if I click on it, it shows you like all the things it's adding up. So these are all the different columns that it's adding up. It's adding up the total that I've actually spent on all of these different things. So it's adding up £73 there that I've spent on Audley End. It's adding up £38 that I've spent so far on George's presents, £40 so far on Hallie's, the joint kids presents, blah, blah, blah. So that's what it's adding up, and that's how it works basically. And it's telling me that I still have £782 to spend for Christmas, but obviously I can tell that I've already budgeted for that, and I'm nearly certain that I will spend that much because it's so easily done. So yeah, that is my Christmas budget. That is everything that I'm going to spend this Christmas on presents and food and drink and activities and events and decorations, everything. So it definitely does add up very quickly. Even though I don't feel like I'm going crazy, I definitely I've got a healthy budget, and the only reason I've been able to do that is because I started saving in January. So look, take this from me, if you're looking at this video thinking, oh my gosh, I haven't saved anything, I have no money towards Christmas, just do it next year. You can't change that about this year, just do it next year. And I know that this year might be a struggle. You can be really strict with like the activities that you do. You can still make Christmas magical without spending loads of money. I know that I've got that really expensive like Audley End thing that I'm doing. If I wasn't doing that, I didn't have the budget for that. Things that I've done in the past when I haven't had the budget to do big, extravagant Christmassy things that have basically been free but have made me feel really Christmassy and been a really great thing for the kids is going to garden centres, especially like a big garden centre like Scottsdale's, for example. They have really great Christmas decorations, and they've got really good little food bits and bobs, and even just going there gets you in the spirit, and you just get like a lolly for the kids or something, and honestly that's what they need. Like going around something like that, all the decorations are out, it just looks really magical. Like that kind of a thing is like a day out for us, and it's basically free. Going to see Santa at a local place, sometimes they do them outside Tesco's, sometimes they do them outside garden centres and things like that. Actually, we did that once with George, went to a garden centre one. They definitely do it at our local Tesco as well, so you don't have to spend a load of money on going to see Santa. You can go and do that, and again, that's a good, nice activity to do that is free. Things like going to your local library to do some library Christmas crafts, for example, like I'm gonna do, that's literally like a £1 donation, and that's a lovely little Christmassy activity to do. Go to Home Bargains and get all the works and get those little ceramic baubles that you can paint, or whatever it might be. Like there's loads of little things that you can do that are completely free activities or very, very minimal activities, and you don't have to spend like all this money on all of the events and things like that. Obviously, if you've got the budget to do it, then amazing, but if you don't, then it really doesn't matter. Like Christmas is about what you make it, and yeah, hopefully doing something like this and having those little ideas can help a little bit this Christmas. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you wanted to download the budget spreadsheet, then it is down in the description box, and I hope that it helps. I hope everything goes really well if you're planning for Christmas. If you want some gift ideas, then keep your eyes peeled, because my next few videos are going to be some gift guides for 4-year-old boys, gift guides for 18-month-old babies, gift guides for mums, and gift guides for dads. So if you're looking out for things to get your kids or your partner, then keep your eyes peeled. But for now, I'm going to love you and leave you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys!
'Cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. And I feel so free, oh my sweet baby.